Welcome everyone to CDO's magazine series of one-on-one interviews with CDOs, data leaders, and key influencers. I'm your host, Robert Lutton, Vice President, Sandhill Consultants, and I'm coming to you today from Toronto, Canada. Working with the CDO magazine, the MIT CDO IQ International Symposium, and the International Society of Chief Data Officers. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing Sanjay Saxena, who is the Chief Digital and Data Officer for Celebrity Financial. Welcome, Sanjay.
Thank you very much, Robert. Glad to be here.
It's a pleasure. Now, I understand for today's discussion, we'll be talking about delivering value to the business, creating and executing your enterprise strategy and roadmap for the enterprise data and analytics. So if you don't mind, what we'd like to do is we'd like to start off with the first question I believe our listeners will be most interested in. I'm sure they'll be interested in all of it, but one of the ones that I believe is the most important role of the CDO is delivering value to the business. So would you be able to expand upon how you and your team are delivering business value for Celebrity Financial?
Sure, Robert. So first of all, let me explain or give you a little bit of background about Celebrity Financial. So Celebrity Financial is a newer name in financial services. We are a mid-sized firm. Our original business, or the first line of business we started with, is loans and mortgages, but we are fast expanding into other digital products. And our mission is to be a digital-first company. So the role of a Chief Data Officer, Data and Digital Officer is very, very relevant to our business. And in terms of my team and my role, I think our main contribution is to build that vision for data and digital for the firm. And this includes, and we will talk about this in more detail, this includes roadmaps, building out a strong data foundation, and setting up Celebrity Financial from a data analytics capability perspective. So those are my key focus areas as of this point in time.
I did have a quick look at the LinkedIn profile in it, and it's wonderful to see that Celebrity Financial is leading the path in some cases of being digital first. And I know that the platform, the company has a educational kind of focus. So when you look at delivering value to the business, what does that mean sort of from your point of view and your team's point of view?
Yeah, so let me talk about that educational focus. So while we are very focused on bringing new financial products to the market, one core theme that we have that links all of our financial products and our offerings is really the theme of financial literacy. And financial literacy in a good way, that we want to make sure that we are seen as being advocates for our customers, that we are helping them with their financial decision making, whether it is our product or somebody else's product. We don't care about that much. We just want to make sure that our customers are more literate, that they're making more and better financial decisions. So my team's contribution in that respect has been foundational, right from the definition of financial literacy to the conceptualization of a number of our products. We are working very deeply with the business, and we are working to define what that digital footprint or that roadmap would be for Celebrity. And we have now started to make inroads into actually implementing that roadmap. And that's exactly what my contribution has been. And it is a fairly intense relationship, deep relationship that I have with the business in terms of not just the data and digital part, but actually the conceptualization of the whole product itself.
And the communication, it's great, Sanjay, to see that deep relationship that you have with the business. So if I look at this, your role as a chief digital and data officer, you're obviously on this digital transformation journey with the organization. Can you tell us, obviously you've started this. You're I don't know where you are in the stage. Are you halfway through the beginning or towards the end of your digital transformation journey, especially with the bank being a digital first organization? But can you talk about perhaps some of the challenges that you've seen when you first started in this journey, and maybe give your experiences to other people listening to this interview?
So, as is typical with companies that are in an explosive growth phase, which is where we are. We started off being a very small firm doing loan origination. Then we went from there. We acquired more companies. We started to grow. So, both in terms of challenges, the first step was to make sure that the company truly understands what digital first means, right? Going beyond the slogan, right? And in my mind, that is both making sure that our internal functioning and our customer facing functioning is digital first, right? It is not just the customer facing piece. It is, we first think about digital solutions, then we think about people and processes in terms of things that we could be doing potentially manually. So that whole mindset of a digital first company and what does that really mean was very important for us. Right. The second challenge was obviously in terms of capital investments, right? Because again, we are a growth company. We have many uses of the money that we have. So how do I convince the senior leadership in terms of in terms of investing a pretty significant portion of the capital into the digital piece, right? So that was the second piece. But I'm glad that both those challenges have been overcome at this point in time in my tenure with the company. In the last 1 year that I have spent with them, a lot of the initial discussions were, everybody agreed with the direction. Everybody agreed that yes, this is the right direction to take. But when you convert that direction into a roadmap, into a framework, into a technology framework, and into a capital project, that is when we have to go and talk to the people and make sure that they understand the return on that investment.
And as a follow-on to that, Sanjay, some data leaders believe that to be a successful data leader in any organization these days, one must not only become data-driven, but increasingly should have a strong background of data and analytics. Can we ask your thoughts? Because I think you're a strong believer of the fact that data analytics go together. So can we ask your thoughts on why you believe this should be so?
Yeah. So the way, and I look at, and I see this transition in the industry as well, and I'd be happy to explain my perspective that originally perhaps many of the CDO roles, and in particular the CDO role out of the what I'm doing, was based on regulatory needs, right? That we need to do this, we need to manage and control and govern our data. So it was more a defensive ploy as opposed to an offensive strategy, right? What we have seen in the course of the last several years, especially in the last 2 years, I would say, is a huge amount of focus on analytics, right? So it is very essential that a leader in this space be very well versed with analytics and should be willing to engage in detailed analytics conversations with senior business leaders. And a lot of that involves not just understanding the business problems that need to be solved and which problems are the most important and relevant to tackle, but also providing a view, which I often do, of what analytic solutions I'm going to deploy to be able to solve that problem, and do that in a non-techie way, right? That's the key, because the technical jargon can get to any business partner. So that ability and that skill set to be able to translate the speak both ways, the business speak into technology and the technology speak back into business, and be able to explain to the business what are we solving for, is really relevant in this space.
Well, Sanjay, we could talk for many more minutes and perhaps even hours into your strategy, but unfortunately, we've got to kind of call it there. I'd really like to thank you for your time today. We really appreciate it. We hope we'll get a chance to come back and hear more about you sharing your experience on your strategy, your enterprise data and analytics programs with Celebrity Financial in the future.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Robert. I really appreciated the interview and the depth of your questions. I enjoyed the interview.
Thank you very much indeed. And for our listeners, please visit cdomagazine.tech for additional interviews.